Hey Patriots at Large, Terry Anderson. I'm sitting here with Aaron Willis. We're out in Roanoke, Texas. I've got a really cool, well, it's not so cool, but it's a very important story that I want to talk to you about Aaron's experience. Aaron's a Patriot. Say hello to Patriots at Large, Aaron.
Hey guys, how you doing? Aaron Willis here.
Yeah,
nice to be with you.
Yeah, thank you. Thanks for meeting with me on.
Absolutely.
We've been talking about getting together for about a week or 10 days now, trying to get together to talk about this. Aaron was a manager at a local restaurant here in the DFW area, and there was an event there, a Patriot rally, a Patriot event, speakers and prayers and gifts and little prize games and stuff. It was fun, food and drinks and hors d'oeuvres, so it was really cool. I was there. I left early. After the speakers were over, I left right away after that. But Aaron had some problems that happened in his life after this event, just a regular old rally, and I really wanted Aaron to be able to get his story out here to other patriots, to other conservatives across the state, across the country, so that they could really hear what's going on. We talk about a Patriots at Large, and we want to paint an accurate picture of what patriots look like across our country, and Aaron is a patriot, but that isn't why he had this event there. It wasn't his event. He was the manager of the facility, the restaurant, and this is what happened to him. Tell us what happened, Aaron.
Well, yeah, we had somebody reached out and said, "Hey, we'd like to have an event at your location, a networking event." I was like, "Absolutely, come on out. Let's have a good time with it." And that's what it was. We had several people come out. Anywhere between 60 and 80 people come out. Networks and people came up and spoke. People of all different demographics, ethnicities. Some good messages were put out. It was very cool, calm, and everybody was on the patio and just kind of like working each other, having a good time and getting to know people. And lo and behold, just people started to realize that these were conservative people, and they had different values, or I wouldn't even call them values, to be honest with you, different points of perspective and opinions of what they did that differed, and so they took offense to that basically, and things just kind of snowballed.
Who was this that took the offense? Was it the other clientele there, or was it?
Well, there was one lady that's a regular there. She took offense to it because she definitely doesn't like that particular political side. And she wrote a review on the website, and you can actually tell that that was just her whole thing. That's what she raved about. It wasn't about service. It wasn't about food. Anything going on is that the fact that she found out that some people that were there were on the conservative side, and she didn't like that too much. And she went on a rant about it. But then also we had some employees that the same situation, and so we even had some drum up some accusations of racism and different points of view that they didn't agree with. I mean, at one point in time, I was even specifically called a white supremacist and a racist, and told that it was a setup because I should have known, because all Trump supporters and all conservatives are racist and white supremacists.
Wow.
And because of their feelings, bottom line is to make it all short, so I don't go on a big rant. We can do that another time.
Did you know that Alan West is black?
Oh man, is he really?
Yeah,
I had
he
no
is.
idea. Oh my God.
Yeah, Alan West, and he's been called a white supremacist too. Matter of fact, Troy Jackson. Hey Troy. Hey Alan. Both black, both called white supremacists. Good friends of mine. Hispanics called white supremacists. So this is part of the culture that we're dealing with. This is what we talk about.
It's terrible.
Yeah, it is, and it's so we've got this situation going on where you're working there, you're trying to do your job. Hey, let me ask you this: did you talk to any of your superiors about this before? You're a general manager there, right? But you have.
Yeah, I was. Yeah,
but
absolutely.
you have higher ups that you discussed this with.
Absolutely.
So they knew coming into this that you were having this, right? And your staff all knew?
Yeah, they knew. We talked about it all the time.
Did you tell them it was going to be a bunch of white supremacists?
I did, but I told them not to worry about it.
No.
Sorry. No, they knew what it was. They knew it was a Patriot networking event.
Right.
My area
That's
director.
exactly what it was. I was invited by other patriots to come there to get to know each other and hang out. It was a mixer. So,
and that's exactly what it was. It wasn't a rally by any means. People wanted to make it out to be that. Call it what you want. The bottom line is that the whole thing was that unfortunately there's some people that grew up without values, and they grow up with this being fed ignorance, and so when it comes down to something they don't like, they just throw up a big fit and they make things happen. And unfortunately good hardworking Americans like myself or like you or anybody else get canceled because this is exactly what happened. Is I was basically canceled and became the fall guy for all of this. And
wait, so tell me about this. Now you got canceled. Because we hadn't even got to the rest of the story.
Right.
So you had this event, and some people were calling you this, and so then what happened after that?
Well, I mean, my area director called me the next day and asked me what was going on because he had heard some stuff from some employees. About people calling them racist and this and that, blah blah blah, or saying racist things to them.
Right.
But anyways, I followed up immediately.
Was it the black people that were there? Because I know that there were some friends of mine that were black. Were they saying the racist statements to the other?
Yeah. The funny thing is that there's nobody. I know. I'm with you, and that's why we go back. We're terrible white supremacists because there was black people there.
Right.
But the thing was that there was nobody could say that they specifically heard somebody say this or that. It's like, oh, I heard this had happened, and this and that. Or one person actually did say that a lady looked at me racist.
Oh, that's right. You told me that.
That's what this look is.
Is that it?
That's the racist look.
No, it would be like Colonel Klink, like, hey,
It's terrible. It's terrible, and it's so, but anyways, so my area director started talking to me about it, and he was like, whoa, this is nuts. And so obviously, I started calling my staff that was working that night, like, get their perspective, and that's when it just started really coming out that nothing happened. What they're doing is they don't agree with that political side,
right?
And so they obviously went to the far extreme they could, which was just guilty by association. Is now everybody's a racist, and now we're in an uncomfortable environment, and it was a setup. It's ridiculous. But ultimately, when it all said and done, and I actually came in after the fact and rewatched the whole entire video,
right?
And watched all the security footage of everything to see if anything, because I had one manager saying everything was out of hand and this and that. Like it was a rally, and no, people were sitting on the patio listening to a couple people talk very calmly.
I was there until the speakers were done. I left right after the speakers were done, and I know that some of the people stayed after and had a few drinks or whatever after that, but. And you saw the video on that, and nothing happened after that either?
No, nothing happened at all, man. It's just that, somebody has a Trump shirt on or a MAGA hat on, all of a sudden there's
or vote biblical values. I don't know, it's probably going to come in backwards on the camera, but all right, so tell me the rest of the story then, Aaron. What happened after you had this discussion with your area manager?
Well, he gave me he wanted to give me a final written for it, you know what I mean? And I was very reluctant to do that. I actually took a couple laps around the complex because I was upset because I couldn't believe that I'm being put on my heels for something that honestly didn't happen. Now, look, I'm sorry that people feel the way they do about things. I care about people enough to understand things. But unfortunately, I don't feel sorry for you if you're going to cause a stink about because you don't believe in something, but nothing happened to you. Now, if something did happen and somebody was talking to you sideways or said racial things to you, by all means, I'm going to take care of that.
Right.
I'm going to take care of that.
And why wouldn't have they said that right away?
Because it didn't happen.
Right.
That's why. It didn't happen.
Yep.
And
I never saw anything even remotely close to that in the whole time I was there.
Yeah,
it was very just enjoyable, relaxed.
It was. It was very nice. And I went around and met some people, and I thought it was great, So, that's anyways, I wasn't getting termed at that moment, but I did get a final written stating that, I brought in, Patriot Party and that it was going to cause friction with the staff and I should have known. And at the same time, I'm like, well, you knew about it.
Right.
You knew about it.
Right.
You knew about it.
You being your general manager or your regional manager.
My area director.
Right.
Yeah, my area director.
Right.
And so, anyways, we went about business for about a week. He actually went out of town. My CEO ended up having a conversation with him, and it was a good conversation at first because he was like, hey, I just want to put this is a lesson learned kind of thing. We don't do that. And I'm just eating crow. It's my job. And I'm like, okay, yeah, I agree. Lesson learned, this and that.
Right.
But at the same time, I'm fuming because it's like, man, I didn't do what they're saying happened. That's not what happened. My area director knew about it. So anyways, we go about business for about a week. And then as I'm talking to people more about things, one staff member ends up bringing to my attention that my area director, as he was talking to people, said, hey, well, Aaron's a 40-year-old white man, what do you expect? And so to me, he was lining it.
Manager, he was igniting it. Flaming whatever, and kind of giving them carte blanche to, hey, you just go ahead and say something, and we'll back you up.
Absolutely, that's what it was. And it's sad to say because I thought that up until this moment, I had a great working relationship with them. The company was great. I even got a raise a few weeks prior to this happening, and I've never had any issues with this company whatsoever. And so anyways, I let my CEO know what I had been hearing, from multiple people, and his response to me was, I'll be there tomorrow. And of course, I'm thinking like, okay, my AD gets back tomorrow, and so he's going to come in, we're going to have a conversation about this. Well,
put it away. And
but unfortunately what he did was he came in and he handed me a termination, piece of paper stating the same exact thing, that I created a hostile work environment by having a Patriot Conservative Party networking event, and due to that, I have lost all respect of my staff, and I will never get that back. You know, after I was basically called a racist, and I'm the one that's put on my heels, and all these other things, and it's absolutely absurd that people today are just, you know, they're not raised with values or even have some common sense and can't think rationally about things. They just go as far as they can because they know that's the stop all. If I say this, then I'm going to win.
Culture.
Yeah, that's exactly what it is. And I got canceled.
And I got canceled, right?
Yeah,
and the way that they're canceling too, it's like there's no merit. It's how I feel. It's I'm feeling like I'm persecuted, or I'm feeling, and so you have responsibility, wife, kids.
Yeah, absolutely. I got a wife. I've got 2 young kids.
Your job, your livelihood, your family's future was taken away by the whim of the whiny, I didn't feel comfortable, they shouldn't be talking about Christian values or conservative values or patriot values in our restaurant.
Yeah.
Right.
And that's exactly what's happening. And it's sad because I think it's even going further because, I mean, being who I am, I'm honest about everything.
Right.
And so people are telling me, so are you still at, you know, where you're working? It's like, no, I was terminated on this date, and I tell them this is the reason why. Mm-hmm. And I think that has a bearing on the reason that I haven't come across it, because my resume is great. I have a great resume. I have a great business acumen, great leadership skills, financial skills, the whole nine. And I should have already landed something by now.
And so you're a manager of food and beverage industry, right? You can manage restaurants, bar, you know.
Yeah, I've been a project manager for concept development. You know what I mean? I've been the POC for complete build outs. I've been an area manager before. You know what I mean?
You seem like a really sharp guy. You do seem a little bit white supremacist to me, but it's probably the hair.
I'm still learning. I'm still learning.
So, hey, listen, one thing, and we'll get back to you just a second here, but one thing I just want to point out here, look at, you know, we're not in the job of finding people jobs, businesses, we're not in the business of finding people jobs, but this is a patriot. He was working with a patriot group to have a patriot function. There wasn't some evil agenda, some takeover, but this young man, I can call you young because I'm older than you, is out of work, you know, and he's got a family. If you know somebody who is looking for a manager, food and beverage manager, concept development type stuff, just a great guy. So far as we've talked over the last couple of weeks here, getting to know each other, and today, you know, it would be awesome if you could have an opportunity with another company. And as it stands right now, with the way that our society is going, Patriots are going to have to start sticking with each other. We're going to have to start supporting each other. We're going to have to start fighting back against the agenda of the left. You know, and the agenda of the left is to cancel the right. They want to cancel the right. Yeah. So we're all in the crosshairs, you know, so we have to stick together. So wanted you to meet Aaron Willis. If he's a member of Patriots at Large. If you get a chance, you know, to message out to him or message to me, if you can't get a hold of him on there, if you're not a friend with him on there, get a hold of me directly, Terry Anderson, Patriots at Large. I'm easy. If I'm not your friend request me or whatever you got to do to get a hold of me. My phone number's on there somewhere. Call me, whatever you got to do. We have got to start fighting back against this, you guys, and that's we wanted to get look at, you know, Patriots at Large. Our premise is to show you a face of what an American patriot looks like. Sometimes it's really cool. Sometimes we're having a great time. Sometimes we're struggling against what's happened in our lives because we either took a stand or we're just what is the word I'm looking at? Singled out because you were associated. They didn't, you know, prior to this, nobody had called you a patriot or white supremacist. It's because you did this group and were associated by association. This man lost his job, and I'm sick of this. I'm really sick of this
nonsense.
Yeah, and so, but I'm so glad you came and met with me. Anything else you want to share with Patriots at Large?
No, I appreciate it. So thanks for having me out, Terry. But no, just stand up. Yeah. Stand up. You know what I mean? A man told me a long time ago, stand up no matter what. So you have to do that. And it's at this point, you know, you hit it on the head. We have to go on an offensive. Mm-hmm. We can't just start standing back and getting put on our heels by people. Right. Stand up. And don't just stand up. Put one foot in front of the other and go forward. You know what I mean? There's more to come for this. And if you want to show some kind of support, look, this coming up Sunday, what is that, the 25th? At the Reservoir at the Toyota Music Factory, we're going to have another Patriot Happy Hour out there. I'm going to be out there. We got a lot of other fellow Patriots come out there. So come out there, have a good time, network, meet some people, and take a stand against what's right. You know what I mean? So come on out, show some support. Let's have a good time. But hey, if you need somebody, I'm your guy. I've got 2 kids. I've got a wife at home.
And great personality, guys, and just a good guy. So listen, guys, I just want to bring this to you today. I'm also gonna, I'm gonna put a little blurb out, a little live feed right after this, kind of a teaser for this. So y'all come back to this when I post it up. I should have something up by today or tomorrow at the latest. So be strong and be bold, Patriots at large. Peace out.